Lappers. My name is Jess Ford, and joining me once again, we have Mr. Colin R. Mason. Colin, how you doing?
Morning, Jess. Morning, all. Here we go. Round 2 of One Hub. Obviously, last week we had Salo taking his maiden One Hub victory. Are we going to see any more maiden victories? Of course, we had F1 Addict as well, getting his first race win as well for One Hub. So, yes, and Bony Fish as well. So, are we going to get another set of new winners as well? That would be great.
Honestly, that will be really great to see if we can do that, because we always like to welcome a first-time winner into One Hub Racing. So hopefully in all 4 tiers, we will see exactly the same tonight. But as I was saying just now, we head to the Styrian Mountains, of course, to the Red Bull Ring, the Austrian Grand Prix for this evening's proceedings. And I absolutely love Austria. Every time we come here at One Hub, we always deliver. The racing always delivers. It's just jam-packed everywhere.
Yeah, it can be quite a chaotic Grand Prix. Dad had his first victory round here due to chaos ahead of him. So he was going into the last bun 1 lap in 3rd place, and the 2 drivers ahead crashed into the wall, and that was Dad promoted into 1st. You can get quite a lot of DRS trains here, so I think qualifying and strategy is going to be really, really key and important here.
Yeah. And of course, if it rains in the race, which or even qualifying, that could make things a little bit intriguing for the drivers. And I kind of would like to see a wet affected Austria. It'll be kind of fun, because that's where I got my first podium, with a wet Austria. Yeah, I want a wet Austria, ladies and gentlemen. So let's just hope it happens. But speaking of Austria, let's have a quick rundown of the Austrian Grand Prix. And to talk us through it, this is a hot lap from Axelot and commentated by Mr. Ivor Bryn Mike.
Welcome to One Hub Racing Season 28, round number 2, as we head to the Red Bull Ring for the Austrian Grand Prix. This lap is sponsored by Sim Racing Setups. Running down in towards turn number 1 with DRS wide open, braking and throwing the car through turn 1 in 4th gear. As you exit, make sure you don't run too far wide with DRS wide open. Now heading up the hill through turns number 2 before the braking at the top of the hill at turn number 3, making sure that you are nice and easy on the throttle. Very easy to lose the back end with DRS wide open once again as you head down in towards the braking for turn number 4. Again, braking around the 100-meter board, throwing the car in 3rd gear, using as much of the track as you can to minimize the wheel spin and the traction issues through turns 5 now in towards the double left-handers at turn 6. Making sure you don't run too far right through 6 and now through turn 7, and using the inside curb at turn number 8. Only 2 corners left on the track to worry about. The fast right-hander at turn number 9, and now setting yourself up through the final corner at turn 10, and that is a lap of the Austrian Grand Prix.
So here we go then. That was a lap around Austria. And if you were struggling on how to find those extra attempts in qualifying, because bearing in mind qualifying is going to be so close, then that hopefully should give you an idea. So 4 tiers, as we were saying. And last week we had a quick rough idea on how some of our drivers fared, but it's not going to be the same every week. We could see different drivers, as you were saying, do well. So let's start with the unknown tier, but a very promising tier, the P4 tier. Last week was very, very exciting. It was nice to see a lot of people making their One Hub Racing debuts in this tier, people returning to the tier, and we saw, as we just said, F1 Addict, one of our commentators actually, who commentates on Realistic, by the way. Really, really good job from him and Evil. But F1 Addict taking his first victory, with Jake taking a podium, his first podium in a while actually. Really great win from F1 Addict. He had it in control from pretty much the start of the race, but he made a few mistakes, but everyone else made more.
Yeah, exactly that. He kept it perfectly clean. He didn't make any mistakes, made the right decision on strategy, and got a great result from it. Jamie will be disappointed because he really should have had a podium, but unfortunately got a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So hopefully Jamie has practiced the pit lane this time and has got a better idea where to brake for that vital pit entry. We were discussing before, we are surprised. It is a 10-second penalty from the game. Obviously, it's 5 in real life, but it just makes it even more important to keep below that speed limit line.
And we were even talking about it in the stewards' room on Friday, that the pit lane is not as crucial in terms of the line you take, but as long as you get the right speed, you should absolutely be all right with that. So make sure you don't speed into the pit lane. Don't do a Jamie in the P4 tier. There's quite a few drivers in all other tiers that have done the same, so we don't want to do too much as well. There's plenty other drivers that have done quite well. Shiesty was really good on pace. I was very impressed with him, but I felt like he was one who made far too many mistakes towards the end. He has got to know when to push and when not to push. That's when the most experienced drivers shine. That's why we saw the likes of Jake and Jack, who are very experienced league racers now, just don't push it too much for the whole race. Shiesty pushed it too much on the final lap, and he binned it in turns 9 and 10, and that's what costed him a really respectful podium for Shiesty and McLaren.
Yeah, it was. I was very surprised to see Shiesty make that mistake. Maybe just a lapse in concentration or pushing too hard, trying to gain another position. But like you said, Jake and Jack showing their experience and bringing it home with a great 2-3 for Mercedes, which puts Mercedes in a tremendous position in the Constructors' Championship.
Yeah, indeed. And I'll try and get it up on my screen in just a minute, because I have not looked at the constructors. I've always paid attention to the drivers. I don't look at the constructors that much in my tier, unless I'm in like a championship winning position or something like that. But going into the P4 constructors, we obviously could talk about the drivers' standings all day long, but that was the results. Mercedes, because they got P2 and P3 in the race last week, they are leading the Constructors' Championship with 31 points to Haas's 22 points, and also McLaren on 22 points as well. These three are going to be ones to watch, but there's some other teams that didn't score as well last week, who I think could score well this week. But yeah, Mercedes, Cole, out there on top at the moment, heading into round 2.
Yeah, I mean, can they keep up this good form? The two drivers, Jack last season had moments of brilliance, but lacked that consistency throughout the season. Can Jack get that consistency nailed down? And if Jake is going to be driving so well alongside of him, they could really put up a Constructors' Championship charge. I expect McLaren's to be in there as well with Jamie and Shiesty.
Definitely.
But it's going to be very, very interesting.
It is going to be. And Heltifka, I can't even say his name, he was looking pretty good as well, but unfortunately he got a ready up penalty, unfortunately, for that. Heading into Austria, there's a few drivers I want to keep an eye on. Crawford, I'm trying to remember his name, I think it's and Joel Flats. Those two in particular, I'm going to keep my eye on. They were looking good in the start of qualifying last week. Got a bit unlucky in the race, but maybe they were just waiting for the moment opportunity to come. If anyone could challenge Mercedes, F1 had it, the two McLarens, it could be Crawford in the Alpine tonight and Joel Flats in the Red Bull.
Yeah, exactly. It could be any one of them, really. But you did mention about Helvetica getting a penalty as well for readying up. Just a reminder to all the drivers, do not ready up at all. It will cost you. So that's 3 points that Helvetica is going to get deducted, or has been deducted from not only his drivers, but from the constructors as well. And we don't like giving out penalties like that. The reason why we've got it in place is just to make sure that everyone's got time to load their setups, etc. So just a little reminder from the drivers there. But one thing that I will say about this tier, I was talking to one of my colleagues in work on the Monday morning, who unfortunately wasn't able to catch the later races, but did catch this race. And he's not a league racer, but he loves his Formula One. And he was watching the drivers, and he said the driving was brilliant. There were a few incidences, but, there was some brilliant overtaking. And even outside, people outside of league racing are enjoying this tier and how close it is.
Yeah, just because there are the bottom tier, it doesn't mean the racing is going to be close and exciting. It is probably sometimes the most exciting. Last season, it took a while to get the bottom tier to have some good racing, but we did have some good racing mid-season and towards the end of the season as well from the bottom tier. So I think we're going to see that as well. So before we go to the P3 tier, let's get our predictions, Carl. It's going to be tough because I think it's going to change week after week with this tier. Who's your pick a poll and who's your top 3? We got it wrong last week we definitely got it wrong last week with our predictions. So let's see if we can redeem ourselves this week. Colin, over to you.
Right, I'm going to go for a Lynn Falk poll. I think he's going to have a bit of redemption. He didn't have the best of weekends last weekend. I'm going to go with a Lynn Falk pole. Now, my podium, I'm going to go for a shiesty victory.
Oh, you nixed my P1. Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jamie in second place. And I'm going to go Jack getting another podium in third.
Oh, he's probably cursing you that it probably might not happen because we saw our predictions last week. Right, I'm going to go for something different. I'm going to go with Joel Flats to get pole position because he almost got it last week, but he made far too many mistakes. I think Joel's going to get P1 in pole position. But who I think is going to get the win... I am tempted to say Shiesty. You know what? I'm going to go with Jamie. He had a good pace when I was practicing with him on Friday. I'm going to go with Jamie in first. I'm going to go with Joel in second place. Shiesty in third. Two completely different predictions. Yeah, but we've gone for different predictions, but there we go. So, yeah.
Right, okay, the chat is dead right, Col. You got a habit of Nick and Jess's predictions. Yeah, you're dead right.
I'm going first.
I do it every week now. It's ridiculous.
I'm going first in P3, just as a heads up, Carl. But yeah, so we've gone through P4 tier. Let's run through the P3 tier. And well, we have less drivers in this tier, but qualifying last week was oh so close. Everyone was separated by 0.5 per second. Everyone in this tier deserves to be there and should be there.
Yeah, 100%. And as you can see, we do have 4 spaces in this tier. So if you have any friends, family, or anyone that you know that you think can fit into this tier nicely, please let them know. Get them to do their TT around Spain, and we'll see if they can be fitted nicely into this tier. But looking at this field, we said it, last week, Jess. It was so close, this tier. I think it was half a second covering the top 12, was it, Jess?
No, it was 5 tenths separating the whole field.
5 tenths, which is just absurd. That is absolutely brilliant, which is what we want these tiers to be. Unfortunately for my Welsh mate Mike, he also spared in the pit lane, and which cost him a near certain podium, Jess.
Second place, I would say. I think. Yeah, he would have got second without that 10-second penalty. And honestly, I was so glad that he had some good pace last week. He definitely deserves it. I mean, it was great to see him battling for the lead with Boney Fish as well. I was watching the stream back, and obviously Mike struggled the last few seasons, but I think this is the right tier for him this season, and he could be, I think, a definite challenge for the win in this tier this season. Welsh Benjamin, I was really happy. He got his first podium ever in one hub, which I think quite a lot of us love Welsh Benjamin, you and I included, and it was even though I was in a rubbish mood that day, one thing I was very happy with was to see a Welsh Benjamin podium.
I was so pleased for him. He drove so well, so cleanly. He didn't put a foot wrong all race. He really did tremendous, and he should be really proud of that performance. And to be perfectly honest with you, I know there's a chance that he might miss some races, but he could put a championship challenge on here. He has got the capability. He has got the pace. He's got the, the strategy brain about him. You know, it's very rare that you see Welsh Benjamin make a big mistake. You know, there's lots of drivers here that sometimes make mistakes, aren't consistent, but Welsh Benjamin is one who will be consistent, and I think he's Quinn like me, but if he can, I really think he can put on a championship charge.
I think I could look at this grid and pretty much I think based on this grid and how close it was in Spain, every single driver in this grid I think has a good chance of the championship. I'm not looking at any of the drivers and saying, nah, they're not going to be championship contenders. Every single one of these drivers I see on my screen, it could be championship contenders. That because of how close it was. Adegio was looking quite good at the start. He had a good qualifying, but again, made a few mistakes. Probo was looking good as well. That was great to see Probo fighting near the front as well. Jason was looking good as well. Gazzaman made some great moves. Mikey on his first race in the wheel, I was very impressed when I was battling him, how clean he was, how much space he gave, and honest, I think there was one move he made into turn 1, I believe, that caught me off guard a little bit, and that was really fun for me, and that was probably the only part of that race when I actually enjoyed myself. The rest of it was quite rubbish. So, but Mikey and Joe on the first race of the wheel, both of them delivered. I think both of them got top 10 at the end. So, well done to those two. But let's get our predictions in for pole position and podium before we bring one of our drivers in, and that's a cue for the one I messaged to get in the commentary box very soon in the rating room. So, my pick a pole is going to be Welsh Benjamin.
Ooh.
And my winner is going to be Mike, Rydog, and I'm trying to think here. You know what? I was going to say Proverb, but he's not here. So I'm going to go with Welsh Benjamin. So there we go. That's my top 3 and pole. Colin, over to you.
Ooh. Right, okay. Let's think about this. Right, my pole, I'm going to go with Rydog.
Yeah.
I think Rydog's going to have a very, very strong quality, and I think he'll get pole.
Yes.
My punt for the race is the same as you for the race winner, Jess. I think Ivor Bryn Mike is going to get
we both said that on stream. We both said that before stream, didn't we?
Did.
It has to happen.
We did.
Come on, it has to happen. Mike's got to win tonight. If it doesn't happen, I'll eat my hat.
Yes, and Mike is racing for Welsh Pride tonight. We can't win anything at the minute. So,
exactly.
Mike, it's all on you, mate. Sorry.
I want
Mike to win.
But
we're going to actually have a Welsh 1-2 lockout, and I'm going to put Welsh Benjamin P2, and I'm going to go with Jessica Ball in P3.
You sure that's going to happen? Now you predicted me, I'm not going to get a good result now, as we found out last week when you predicted top 5. So
So the reason why I say that is that I've actually seen some of Jess's pace and flying, and I really think a top 3 is on the cards tonight.
I hope so. Fingers crossed. It did help that I've done quite a few races in Austria on this game, but I'm not taking any chances, to be honest. I'm going to check Discord to see if we got a certain person in the rating room. No, he is not. And he's not even online on Discord. Right, I'm going to tell him to go into the rating room right now so he could join. Gaz is saying I'm too fast for P3. No, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen any quality lap time, so that's the beauty of it. I haven't practiced too much this week with the P3 tier, so I have no clue on who I think is going to get pole. I don't know any lap time, which is probably a good thing, because if I don't know lap times, then of course it would out me quite a bit here. But Colin, I'm going to let you have this one. We are going to have our pick a winner into the commentary box to talk to us. Take it away, Carl.
There he is. Welcome in.
What are we doing?
We're
The
doing
legend
good.
that is Ivor Bryn Mike. Mike, you nearly broke one of my models last Sunday because I nearly threw my Vapor across the room when you got a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. But I genuinely think you can win this race tonight. You've improved quite considerably over the break. Do you think that's you just having a bit more relaxed, or do you feel as though you're driving better at the minute?
I mean, honestly, I think it's a bit more just going into the races a bit warmer than last season. Because obviously, last season, and I apologize to the entire P2 tier last season. I pretty much was just like, turning up and checking in, but I was checked out of the season last season, and this season obviously coming in a bit warmer, so it's helping with the competitiveness.
Yeah, I mean, you had a great race last Sunday, just a little bit too quick in the pit lane, but that must, even though ignoring that, you must be really pleased because you had great pace, you were fighting right at the front. Do you think that you can get some podiums? Do you think you're capable of winning tonight? Because Jess and I certainly think you are.
Not tonight. Not tonight. Maybe next week.
Aww.
Maybe next month.
Boo.
Maybe next year.
I want you to win.
Now, Mike. Oh, sorry, mate. I'm really curious about this because we know how good you are in the rain. Are you hoping for a wet race or a dry race?
I am hoping for a bone dry race because I'm absolutely horrible in the wet.
Join the club.
I'm not the only one that wants a wet race.
No, I think Quinn wants one as well.
Good. Yeah, that's good. I'm joining. The reason why, because I'm good at Austria in the wet, and that's the only track I'm good in the wet. Anyway, carry on.
But best of luck tonight, Mike. We'll be rooting for you. You've got 3 Welsh drivers in this tier. Who do you think will finish on top out of the Welsh boys at the end of the year?
Ooh. No, that's a very tough question.
You can say yourself if you want to.
But the thing is, I make more mistakes than both Mason Senior as well as.
Shut up! You
I do. I make more mistakes, so I'm not going to drop them enough that I can discount my mistakes. Like, my mistakes are going to happen. Honestly, I think it's going to be close. I think all 3 of us could be battling going into the final race or something for position.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. I think it's going to be too tight to call.
You know what I want to see? I don't think it could happen. You know what I want to see in the final round? To be a championship fight between all 3 Welshmen in P3.
Oh, I'd burst.
Wouldn't that be great?
I'd drive around New Ridge with a 40-foot Welsh flag with the names on it.
Benjamin's going to kill me, but there we go.
I'll be going down New Bridge going 2-2-2-2. I'm a brain, Mike.
No, I'm a spin, Mike.
But very, like I said, very good drive last week, and best of luck tonight, Mike. Get that practice in, because we all know how important qualifying is around here. And let's hope we have a nice, exciting battle like we did last week. So best of luck, Mike. Thanks for joining, mate.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Ivor Bryn Mike. We are going to be talking about 2 more tiers in just a moment. So let's get our second tier, and this is one tier I've been looking forward to commentating on the most, because every talk show I always keep saying the same thing. Oh, I hope this person finally gets a win. Oh, this is long overdue, and it never happens. But last week, my dream finally come true, and honestly, I was in a rubbish mood, and when I saw this person cross the line and won the race, it cheered me up. Salal won a race, ladies and gentlemen, in One Hub Racing, and he's leading the P2 Championship. Honestly, I don't have to say anymore if Salal could win a race, because it's already happened.
We are finally there. We're finally there. But my prediction stands from last week when I said I don't think he'll win one race. I think he'll win 3, 4. And I genuinely think that could happen. You've got a couple of drivers there, making errors as well. Kinney made a mistake last week. Larkin got ridiculously unlucky. I mean, his race was over before turn 1. I think there was a bit of lag halfway through the field, a bit of desync, which caused Larkin to get a DNF, unfortunately. So I'm seeing a big turnaround from Larkin this week. But what a race that was! A very late safety car near the end, which, to be honest, looking at it, some drivers nailed the strategy towards the end and some drivers didn't. It was a difficult call what tyre to go on. Yeah, what a race we had last week. Absolutely brilliant. And obviously Lawrence getting a podium as well. And I think it was Jacob in P3, I think.
Yeah, Jacob P3.
Just checking the standings. Yes, Jacob P3. Jacob obviously got pole, but could not convert it to that race win. What will happen tonight? We'll have to wait and see.
Honestly, I think Jacob's a man who is on a mission. I think I looked at the database the other day and it's been like an 85% podium rate or something crazy like that, which is just incredible. Alexa had the pace around Spain last week, but again, he got unlucky. Of course, there were some drivers that missed last week. And I have to say, one big surprise that I was really happy did well in this tier last week was Lawrence. He was up near the top for most of the race. And to be fair, he was struggling in P2 last season. So the fact that he was not struggling at all to keep up the pace, he just started the wheel like almost a year ago. And he is improving and improving every time he touches that wheel and races on that wheel. And it's great that unfortunately he missed out on the win, but it was great to see him not struggling in the P2s here, unlike he did in the first half at last season.
Yeah, I thought he drove brilliantly. I wasn't expecting him to be that near the front from race 1. I knew he would get there, but I didn't expect him to be right on it from the first one. That was really impressive. But I'm going to jump into my predictions for this evening tonight.
Okay, you go first.
Pole position, I am going with Mokwe. That is my pole punt. For the race, I'm going with a Salo victory again.
Oh.
With Mokwe in second and Lukey in third place, getting his first podium of the season.
Right. We'll talk about a few other drivers in a minute, but here are my predictions. I'm also going to go with a Mokwe pole position. So there you go. You're welcome, because he's been looking very good around here. But my win is going to be Jacob, Mokwe, Salal. That's my top 3. So I think Jacob's going to get the victory here tonight, because I think he's got this. Kinney and Zonto, I think, are looking for some redemption. I can't wait to see what Nicholas does in the Kicks Albert tonight. Of course, Kermit, we're yet to see what he could do potentially as well. So, yeah. And Rydog's actually predicting a Lukey win. Oh, wouldn't that be great, won't it? To see a
That would be
Lukey.
brilliant, yeah.
Wouldn't it be great to see a Lukey victory? I would love it. Being biased, I know, because I co-own a league with him, but there we go. Mike's saying Lukey P20 and Qualia Lukey disqualified in the race. Oh, Mike.
They could be doing the reverse track. We all tease poor old Lukey, but I've got to give him massive credit last week. Lap 1, he had no front wing. He had to go on alternative strategy. The guy doesn't know, he can't even spell give up. It's not in his vocabulary. And he kept going, he kept pushing, and got some really vital points towards the end. And I thought he drove brilliantly, especially with the bad luck he had at the start. But he never gave up, kept pushing. And those points that he had last week, that could be vital come the end of the season. And it's drives like that impress me more than getting pole and winning the race, to be honest. Everything went against him at the start, but he didn't lose his head. There's a tendency for when you get bad luck or you end up in an instant on, in the first couple of laps. The amount of times I see drivers overdrive and then make a second, third, fourth mistake. Lukey didn't do that. He kept his head down and kept pushing and got a really good result considering the disaster start he had to the race.
I was in the party as well. He tried to keep as calm as he could, and it was annoying that he had to go on an alternate strategy, but he just kept his cool and he delivered, which was really great to see. I think Jonas, can bring up some great performances. I think he wasn't here last week, was he? So I hope to see him well as well. Larkin and Papa Scrunch. I felt so bad for those two and Zonto. Those three, come on. They got to do well tonight after them having a really bad crash at the start of the race. They didn't even make it past turn 1. So there we go. That is the case there. And finally, we're going to move on to P1 tier. Now, apologies. I don't think we got an image for the P1 tier. We got last week. So ignore that it says round 1 and ignore that it says Spain. We're on round 2, okay? But the lineup pretty much stays the same. But what a tier last week. Plenty of drivers have come up to us saying, oh, thanks for this tier. This is the closest that we've seen in a while. It's been great. I mean, me and Jamie were watching in the commentary box, and it was just so great to watch everybody just deliver. And it was honestly the really great opening round. Obviously, you didn't enjoy your race, but from a commentator's perspective, it was great to watch.
Yeah, it's so close. I think if I went like something daft like a 10th quicker, I would have gained 6 positions. The tier is so close. Qualifying, maximizing qualifying is going to be so important in this league. If you're a 10th off what you should be, you're in trouble.
Yep. You are in a lot of trouble.
Sorry, I just read Axlock's comment. I'm going to have to stop looking at that, otherwise I'm going to be laughing all stream. But I think because this tier is so close, we're going to get so many different and varied winners each week. Kev's very, very quick. I think he came second last race. With who took the victory last week? I can't remember. Marco. So Marco's obviously our punt for the championship as well, Jess. Can he replicate that? Can he get another victory on his hands? I will let you have the punt for who you think's going to be winning this race.
First of all, let me just speak about a few drivers, because of course Marco pulled off a great performance, but I have to say Kevin did very well. Casper made his way through the field quite nicely. Axelot performed very well as well. Kalamonar made his way through. So Agro has a good performance in places as well. Mert to Senna. I enjoyed the battles with Senna throughout the race. That was fun as well. Those drivers in particular I was keeping my eye on. J. Cole as well. It's so great to see in this tier people doing so well. And Alex would have... He's another one of those drivers where if he didn't pick up a 3-second time handle, he would have won the race. He had the perfect strategy out of anybody. And that is why I'm going to start on my top 3. That is why, because of the tyre strategy alone, because Austria is so high on tyre wear, I think Alex is going to get the win tonight. He's not going to get pole, but I think he's going to get the win. Second place, I think, is going to be Keto. And third place, I think, is going to be Callum Unarmed. That's my top 3. And my pole position is going to be Lakito. So,
Ooh.
Colin, over to you.
So, my poll, I'm going to go Kev.
Oh, interesting.
My top 3, I think Kev's going to get his maiden one-hub victory tonight, with Callum in second, close behind, with Axlock in third.
Oh, yes. That is a good shot, actually, between those. I mean, looking at most of this grid, quite a lot of these drivers could get a podium and get a win. So 9 times out of 10, we'll probably get this. And Kevin's saying he's washed here. You never know, Kevin. Anything could happen. And Senna thinks it's not going to be the best race for him. You never know. I've seen people say on streams, and you can back me up, Cole, oh, I'm going to have the most terrible race. Oh, Austria's so rubbish. And then they end up having the best race ever. That's going to happen. I'm going to predict it doesn't have to be someone that wins the race. Someone is going to get a good result when they thought on the chat tonight from any tier that they're going to have a rubbish race and they're not going to get on the podium or top 5 or top 10 or whatever. So there we go. So that is my bold prediction there. And one thing I forgot to say is, because it's a top tier and Austria, track limits are absolutely a nightmare. How many penalties? Who's going to get the most penalties tonight?
Me, probably.
You?
Me, probably. I can't seem to stop getting them at the minute in practice. But I think, to be honest, like last week, this race will be won by the driver who has the least amount of penalties.
Yeah, like Marco did.
That's exactly the same. I can see it, replicating tonight, to be honest.
I think with any tier.
We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, I think because these tiers now are so close.
Even P4 is close, to be fair. The front lot of P4 is quite close now.
Yeah, exactly. And because the tiers are so close, these penalties, I just can't see a driver winning this race with 3-second penalty and the guy behind not having a penalty and then managing to keep that 3-second gap. I just can't see it.
No, because there's DRS trades galore. It's crazy. It's very crazy. So, yeah, I think with this tier, it's going to be interesting. Lakito, I want him to see getting better rate pace. Well, shout out to Morgan, by the way, last season's P2 champion. He got his first point in P1 tier, and that's no mean feat. P1 is a difficult tier, and he stepped up to it like a champ. And I loved his attitude. Even though he's in P1 tier and he thinks he's struggling, he's still enjoying it. And that's what I want to see from all drivers who think they're in the wrong tier. Just embrace the tier you're in and just learn and grow. I've seen the best drivers learn being in a higher tier than expected one season, and then the next season, because they learned so much a previous season, they do well in that season and maybe get a title or two.
Yeah, exactly that. It's all about, if you really want to improve, you ain't going to improve by getting poles and wins every week. It doesn't work that way. You've got to be challenged. That's the only way to improve. And the easiest way to do that is to race with drivers who are, got better race pace and better quali pace, and you can learn from them.
Yeah, I think there's one league on Wednesdays where quite a lot of the drivers now are way faster than me, and I just learned so much from how they do their lines around certain corners, where they brake, what gears they go in as well, how they manage their ERS. it's just so much better being in a tier where you have some faster drivers than you and you can just learn from them. And even you can pick up some nice tips too. So, yeah, that's my recommendation. And I can't wait to see all the tiers tonight. We'll go through the time in just a moment. But we have got a few more things to discuss before we talk about the weather. So, car wear. No one has taken car wear penalties today, but just a little reminder, each driver will have to take a gearbox penalty, which is 5 places on the grid, and an engine penalty, which is 10 places, and they can't take it the same week. I believe, as far as I'm aware, from round 3 onwards, as long as you don't DNF, don't quote me on this, you'll have to do the maths, from round 3 onwards, if you decide to take your engine penalty from then, you will get to the end. Or it might be for probably 10 rounds, I would say. So, yeah, from round 3 onwards, I think, as long as you don't DNF, because you get 2 times engine wear if you DNF, you will get your gearbox and thing to the end. So, next week, I think we're going to start to see quite a few drivers taking their engine and gearbox penalties here if they don't like Australia. Of course, if they like Australia, some people may think they'll have a good qualifying around this. I have a good qualifying. I don't want to take an engine or gearbox. We'll see. But yeah, everyone's looking in the green in the moment, and that is always great to see. But there are certain drivers that got that DNF right near the end, so they've got 2 times engine penalty. It looks like from some tiers they don't, but some people that do retire towards the end, please don't, because your engine wear will suffer.
Yeah, exactly that. And that's another reason not to retire in the pits. Don't forget, we do have a point for the fastest lap as well in the bottom 10. So there's absolutely no reason for you to DNF, in the pit lane. Don't forget, regarding engine wear, you cannot take your engine and gearbox penalty at the same race. They need to be done in different races.
Be strategic.
Yes, so be strategic with your choices. And obviously keep an eye on your engine and gearbox wear, because if you do run out of laps on those parts, you will get a DNF. So the last thing we want to be doing is giving someone a DNF after they had a victory.
I've had a question in the chat, and I will answer this question. Are you allowed to take an engine or gearbox penalty if you can't make the race? No. You can't. That's a simple question. If you can't make it, we've seen that multiple instances last season, Cole. If suddenly you take a penalty and then the day of the race you're like, oh, I can't make it, emergency or whatever, or you are stuck in traffic or whatever and you can't make the race, it will get rolled over to the next race. But if you don't want to take it to the next race, you could then choose what track you want to take it next. So yeah, that is the rule on that one. If you miss a race, you can't take an engine or gearbox penalty that race, but if you miss a race, you won't get any engine wear or gearbox wear in that round anyway. So there we go. So we are gone through that. We've got one more thing to go through during the talk show. We got quite a few more things to go, but I like to have a bit of a nap before we start practicing. So let's talk about the adaptive weather system, Cole. I want rain in the race. So does Quinn. So does Jake. But everyone else is going, no, we don't want rain. I do. I do. If I don't get rain, I'll be disappointed, to be honest. But Colin, for those of you new to the adaptive weather system, explain how it all works.
So, like Jess said, here at OneHub, we use an adaptive weather system. So we have various scenarios, each for qualifying and the race, with varying weather. That could be clear, overcast, light rain, heavy rain. Each week in this show, we will use the wheel, the random wheel, and that will select the weather for that race and that qualifying session. Once that scenario has been used, it gets crossed off. And then we're down to the remaining scenarios for the following week. Now, I think we have, so obviously there's 12 rounds. I think it's a maximum of 4 wet affected qualifying sessions and 4 wet affected races. So that is how our adaptive weather system works. A very, very popular game mechanic that we've introduced. it's very interesting as well, the variant spread of drivers of what they want as well. Some drivers wish for the rain, some drivers praying for dry.
Yeah, and some drivers don't mind. Some drivers think, I don't care, put me on whatever weather, which is probably a good thing, because that more than likely means they're going to do well. So, without further ado, let's go to qualifying wheel. Of course, overcast, we've done that for quali, so that gets chalked off unless we see it again. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here's the wheel, and let's spin it! Da, 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 da. And we are gonna get a clear to overcast. So we're going to get a dry qualifying. So still not a wet to dry qualifying that I wanted. But yes, we're going to get a wet to dry... a clear to overcast qualifying. I'm gutted about that.
Yeah, I was hoping for a bit of rain. I'm not keen on it raining in the race, I got to be honest. But we'll soon see.
Oh, Cole, come on. It's got to happen. So you wanted to dry in the race, yeah?
Yes, I wanted a wet quali and a dry race.
Right, so none of us got the first prediction right. Let's see who's going to get the next prediction right. So Colin predicts it's going to be dry. I'm going to predict it's going to be wet to dry. And if I win this prediction, I'm going to have the biggest smile on my face. I could tell you that. But anyway, here we go then. Let's get ready. You can see the wheel here for the race. And look at all the options there. Let's spin it. And the weather is... Oh, boo! Oh, come on. It's overcast. And Colin is smiling from ear to ear. I am crying to the cows come home because we're not getting a wet race. I'm gutted. Ugh. I'm so annoyed. I'm really annoyed. But Colin could party. So there we go. No respins, unfortunately. I wish I can, but that would rig it.
Quid.
I don't want to be seen as rigging, so shut up. But yeah, unfortunately, we do not get a wet to dry race. That would have been so much fun, but we're going to have to wait to get one in the future.
Yes, it's only a matter of time before we do get a wet race. It'll be a relief for some drivers and a disappointment for others. But it is the same for everyone. Everyone has the same conditions. Don't forget, it is on approximate. And we have seen in the past light cloud and overcast turn into a little bit of rain due to the fact it is approximate. And we've had it the other way around, Jess, haven't we? Where it says light rain and we've not actually had it.
Yeah.
So just be aware of that.
Just be careful about that as well. And that means we could see rain next week or even a week after. I think we're more likely going to get rain in Austria, but there we go. So that is it then for the pre-race talk show. And before we say our goodbyes and wrap up, let's have a quick run through of our sponsors, starting with our title sponsor, Delta.app. Our title sponsor is for over 18s only. If you use the code command !Delta, you can get all your investments in one app. Make smart decisions like the world top investors and track your journey to success with Delta. Or if you're watching on YouTube, click the link in the YouTube description and you'll be able to use it to track your investment. Next, we got our long sponsors, Next Level Racing, sponsor the league by providing some prizes each season. These are the prizes that they could win, but they're still to be confirmed. Then we got our next sponsor, Sim Racing Setups. They provide dry, intermediate, wet setups, safe and esports setups as well. And they also provide tips on how to use ERS in certain corners, which I found very useful this season. And if you could use the code One Hub Racing, you can get 5% off if you want to get some Austria setups for tonight. So please do. And the driver of the day, they get a £10 voucher each week, and the winner of the Sim Racing Setups Driver of the Season wins a £100 voucher. So you've probably seen on Discord, 4 drivers have now got £10 vouchers. Will they get more? we're going to have to wait and see. We got our partners, Vespertina, support our apparel. They also support the payments and lots of other championship prizes. And finally, to our partners at SimGrid. Without SimGrid, we would have to fill out forms and do all spreadsheets, and it'll be an absolute nightmare. And since it's a very tough time at the moment, time to talk. Mental Health Foundation. If you need help, go to them. That'll be massively appreciated. Colin, any final thoughts before we wrap up, have some food and start practicing?
Just wish everyone good luck. One thing I would like to say, just to remind everyone, please record your footage. I advise streaming and saving your footage at the end of the race. We did have a few instances last week where we did unfortunately have to give penalty or championship point deductions to a couple of drivers. Please remember to record your footage, and most importantly, have fun. And I will see you all for practice very soon.
Yep, see you for practice very soon. Most likely we'll be at 1 o'clock. I probably won't be there, so we'll try and get someone else to host it. I know in the bot it will say add me as host, but we'll try and get someone to host that one. But thanks for watching. So, P4 will start just over a couple of hours time, 3 hours time actually, at 3 p.m. P3 will start at 4:30. P2 will be at 6 p.m. and P1, the best here, will start at 7:30 p.m. UK time. And practice will more than likely be at 1 p.m. UK time. So check in about 10 minutes or so when the bot will be live, and you'll be able to react, and we'll try and find a host for you, so I can...
or as Dad likes to call it, practi. When is practi?
When is practi? I love it. I love it, Mason Jr. Anyway, we're going to wrap up so you guys can have some food, including me. Take care, everyone, and you can see Evil and Papa Squanch at 3 o'clock for the free P4 tier. Take care, everyone, and have a good rest of your morning stroke afternoon. Goodbye.
Good luck, all. Goodbye.